Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a week hiatus for us over here at Mouth of the Mark, but we are back. And we are reviewing Monday Night Raw once again, June 29th edition of Monday Night Raw. I'm joined, as always, with Daniel John Schaefer. I'm Matthew Talon, and we are Mouth of the Mark. Daniel, how
What
you
up?
been, buddy?
I can't complain, man. Had a good time. Went on a little tour, and I understand that you went out of town for work for a little while. I'm glad we could kind of get back together. It was weird because I felt like we had so many shows there in a row, and we were just kind of banging them out. I think we did two shows in one day once for Money in the Bank, if I'm not mistaken. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, we missed the whole week, and so I'm ready to jump back in the saddle. But yeah, man, how about you? How was your week off?
The week off was actually very busy, but
Right.
very fulfilling. Got a lot done. And I agree. We pounded out so many shows in like a 3 to 4 week period, and I was just like, man, we haven't done a show in a week. I haven't done a show in forever. Let's do a
Yeah,
show.
it felt weird, man. It felt like it was forever because we had so many there in a row. They had like a special every 2 weeks, starting with like King of the Ring all the way through. And yeah, man. So it's weird to like kind of pump the brakes down. I do feel like they kind of missed out on that. Like I feel like they should have waited to do that like almost like 6 week or 4 week arc where it was like there was a special every 2 weeks and you had an NXT takeover and all that kind of like rolled into one big thing. What they should have done is had, you have OTAs in the beginning of like the NFL season, and now there's like this downtime before the preseason. Like they should have done it this month going into SummerSlam. It should have been like boom, 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 SummerSlam. Like I feel like that would have been a
Either
little bit
that,
smarter than doing it
I
last month or more like 6 weeks ago. But still, I feel like it would have been better if it was, you know, now.
well, either that or they should have done it whenever like mid football season when football season's blowing and going, trying to get more content out there to combat NFL. They probably would have been a little better doing that too. On the other hand,
Yeah.
it could have gone worse for them. But
Well,
you
I
never
think
know.
they do. I think they still have a plan to do that again around the end of October, going into SummerSlam. I think there's on the schedule. I think
You mean
there's enough.
Survivor Series?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, going to Survivor Series. There's another series where I think it's like 6 weeks, three specials, something like that. One of them's NXT, but there's two actual like WWE pay-per-views. So I don't know if they do it like that. If they do it as like a kind of like a little NOS boost, like for 6 weeks or so. Like I don't mind them doing it twice a year, but I feel like they could find different places in the year that it would have been better. But then again, that's nitpicking.
Agreed.
Down to the task at hand.
Yeah, let's go overall here at first. We've got Monday Night Raw. So overall, what did you think about tonight's show?
I gave the show a C+ overall. I feel like sometimes the crowd really kind of dictates the Raw, and DC is notoriously bad for shows. Like, sorry if you're from DC, but you guys kind of suck as like a sports town in general. Like, you guys always root for the dudes that suck, and I don't know, it's just weird. So it feels like that ECW feeling never left like that DC area. Like I don't know. I know it's Philly based, but there was a lot of CZW type stuff up there too.
They seemed a little dead tonight. I mean, like I thought they got a couple of good pops and they got a couple of good spots where they should have had them, but I, I mean, like you say, the crowd really makes or breaks the show, and I gave the show a C-, and I think that it's a C- at no fault to the workers. It's and I almost want to say that it's a C-, no fault to the bookers too, because I think most of the booking decisions were smart tonight.
Yeah,
The crowd just never got into it. Like
right.
not when they should have. You know what I mean? So I think that hurt the show more than anything. Uh, you know, I
Yeah,
the worst part of the show was the first hour for me. The first hour was the worst part of the show, and I, the authority segment in the beginning. At first, I kind of hated it at first,
yeah,
and then I was like, at first I was like, man, they're doing like a Price is Right. They're giving away prizes to the authority people. I'm like, awesome, but it made sense. Like it makes sense that you're trying to keep everybody on your side because you've got Brock Lesnar to worry about. Like it makes sense what Seth was doing. So, but it just I'm tired of the 20-minute segments at the beginning of Raw. I just wish they would switch to a different format, but they're not going to because it's working for them right now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I feel like, I mean, the opening segment was good, and I felt like the promo was actually 5 star. I felt like, I mean, I know that I mean, you may disagree, but I really did feel like the opening to Raw was really, really good. Because I kept waiting for Seth to kind of be like, and this is what I got you, and it's some sarcastic little thing, and like, ha 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 ha, I'm Seth Rollins, and I'm a skeezy little dweeb, like I expected that to happen, and it didn't, and he just kept like fluffing him and kept fluffing him until Big Show came out, and I was like, damn, he just like got him all this stuff, like this, I don't think that's ever happened in wrestling, where it's like one heel is just gonna dote over these other heels the entire time, and there's not gonna be any swerve, any interruption, no nothing. Just heels for the sake of being heels, and Rollins just spending money on people that like on guys that everyone hates. Like I loved it. I thought it was a great promo. I thought it was a good opening, and I actually thought that the Big Show Henry match wasn't terrible because it was quick and clean. The spots they had were crisp, and like, I mean, Big Show was bumping really good tonight, and dude, Mark Henry sold that KO punch so well, like. I was stunned by how well he did. Like, yeah, I was like, oh, like, dude, but like, I'm talking about the very finish. Like, he like buckled his knees and did this shake and fell, and I was like, that's really good for Mark Henry. Like, I was like, damn, that looked really good. Like, I mean, this guy's so used to being the powerhouse. Like, so when you see a big sell from a big guy like that, it's like that's super impressive to me. It's like, I don't know, but I thought I gave that match a, what did I give it? I give it a C plus.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of big guy versus big guy. I gave it a C because it was short. I'm with you. If you're gonna have Mark Henry and Big Show working together, you really need to limit their time together, and they did that. So Big Show's bumped well ever since he came back. I mean, Big Show lost a lot of weight. He came back. He was bumping well. It's who he's working with that really dictates how well he is. He's a solid worker 90% of the time.
Yeah.
His booking is what really makes him like shit because I mean he does the flip flop every 6 weeks to 8 weeks to a month.
Right.
So
like, how are you that big? How are you that big, that athletic, and funny enough to I mean you can carry a promo. Like, how have you been so poorly booked that you are not the biggest star of all time? Of all time as a pro wrestler. Like,
yeah.
He's the Big Show. If you had nothing but good creative behind him from the very beginning of his career, now it's too late. Now there's way too much tread on those tires. But I'm saying, like, if you had started off right from WCW on and kept it like top notch,
but they did. And that's the sad part is they did. I mean, he was working Rock, he was working Austin, he was working Taker. Like, he was working these big dudes and was working well with them. It's just, I listened to his Talk Is Jericho podcast earlier today, and like he goes into all that stuff. Like, apparently at a live event, he did a moonsault like off the top, and like no one recorded it, I guess. Like, because I mean, this is back in the '90s, and I don't know if I believe it, but I mean, if you can do that, like, why would you waste that? Like what would you do?
Because
I get it. Right, I get it.
That's the JR and me being like, no, he doesn't need to get up there and do that. He's already the giant. Like,
see, and he even said that. He's like, no, you don't do that because that's not what giants do. Like. But
no, and I agree.
Nobody told Brock Lesnar not to do the shooting star press. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but Lesnar shouldn't be doing the shooting star press. He has no business doing shooting star press, man. No business.
So he almost died once. Whatever. So after that was Miz versus Ryback, and I thought that was pretty boring, except for the way they booked the end. The end of that match was perfectly placed.
Yeah.
First off, the end of the Mark Henry and Big Show match where Ryback comes in and Miz sneaks a cheap shot, the hit and run, love it. Love the hit and run. And for that to transition to the Ryback and Miz match, and then Miz just be like, nah, peace out, dude. I ain't doing this shit no more. It's classic heel stuff, and it's
Yeah.
simple. Less is more. It's simple. It gets the point across. Ryback doesn't lose any shine for fucking something up. Miz doesn't lose any shine because he didn't lose clean. Big Show already won. So all three guys going into this Intercontinental title match are looking pretty good so far. They got a
Right.
couple weeks to fuck it up, but they look good right now. So that's,
Yeah.
I,
Oh,
I,
no, we
I
still
give
got 2
I
weeks,
give it
man.
success.
We
That's
still
what I'm
got
saying. They
two
got more
weeks.
than enough time to fuck it up.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I gave the Ryback Miz match. Dude, there's something weird about this Miz run, man. And I feel like if they play it right, and I hope they give him the title. I never thought I'd say that, but I hope they give him the Intercontinental title. And if they do, I really do feel like he's in his prime right now. Like we can see a skyrocket, but a good Miz, man. I feel like his in-ring work is good. I feel like there was a point. There was a point where he looked up at the ref after like that long ass stalling. All right, so he had him up for a slam, and it was a stalling slam, and then all of a sudden he decides to turn it into a vertical suplex at the end. Like, come on, dude. And you stalled it way too long. God, you are so terrible, Ryback. Everything about you is awful. You were terrible. You should not be on TV.
He could
Anyway,
have. He should have
Miz,
cut
I
that
felt
shit
like
off.
Miz carried it. And after that, like after he finally got his like chance to put the heat on again, there was one spot that I don't think they were supposed to catch, and he looked straight up the referee and he was like, "This is hard." Like that's exactly what he said, and I like you could hear him say that. Like that dude, like he was pretty much saying like this dude fucking sucks. Like, and I was like, yeah, because it wasn't like just Miz's character. If you go back and rewind it, you can see his like it's a shoot face, and he was like, "This is hard. Like this is ridiculous." Like you know what I mean? I just feel like that
Yeah, no,
guy. I don't know, man. I gave the match a D overall, and the only reason why I passed is because I really felt like the Miz actually carried that whole thing.
yeah. I mean, I gave it no more than a C minus. Just, I mean, the booking at the end made it smart. You know what I mean? Like, and I guess now I'm looking at it more storyline wise. The
Right.
performance. I mean, this card tonight really wasn't about it was about the booking to me, because the performances, I didn't see anything that I wasn't expecting or that I didn't think I'd see, or something that I haven't seen. You know they were okay performances with one or two exceptions tonight, but the booking made sense. So that's kind of what I've based my grades off of the whole night. And Paige versus Alicia Fox was after that, and this was another one that if I don't see somebody from NXT come up and back up Paige soon, I'm gonna break something. Like, don't drag it out too much longer.
Oh, they're
I
saving it for
I
SummerSlam.
know they're gonna save it for SummerSlam. I know. Because that's where the payoff is. SummerSlam is the payoff. I understand that, but still, this. I'm glad Paige got a win, because I'm tired of seeing Paige just lose to the numbers game, which I guess that's the point. Like, you want the fan to be invested, and you want them to be tired of seeing the babyface lose outnumbered, and then finally the babyface gets them back up, and there you go. There's the payoff. So I get it, but at least this one made sense. It wasn't against a Bella, so the Bellas looked okay. It was against Alicia Fox, who somehow is affiliated with the Bellas for some reason now. You know,
Yeah.
Whatever. And the work wasn't that bad. Like, Alicia wasn't terrible. Paige was fine as always. I gave it a C plus B minus. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I actually gave. I mean, I gave them. I felt like they got too much time to me. I felt
Yeah.
like
Well,
it was
who'd
like
have
they
thought we'd have said
were.
that about a Divas match?
Yeah. I mean, but it wasn't. I don't know, man. I've never really been a fan of Alicia Fox, and I get heat for this too. I don't know what it is about her. I just feel like she's not as smooth as people say she is. Like she had a couple good spot. Like I feel like for her, it's like she's 75 to 80% on her spots, but the other 20 to 25% is really bad. You know what I mean? So it's like I can't. I just feel like Paige carried the match, so I gave it a passing grade. But other than that, I would have failed this match altogether.
It's she's in the middle between Cameron and Naomi. Cameron can't work. Naomi can work.
Yeah,
Alicia Fox kind of sits in that middle.
yeah,
That's the way I look at it.
yeah.
Um, so we finished the first hour and went into the second hour with John Cena's Open Challenge, and I don't know if they mismanaged the time or not, but Cena didn't do his promo before the commercial break. He did when he came out. You could hear him talking to the camera, like he was talking to the audience at home, talking to the camera, saying, challenge starts now, blah, blah, blah. Then he hit the ring and they went to commercial. So for the live his little promo thing,
Yeah,
but it didn't get televised.
right.
So because they did away with the WWE app with the second screen, the live second screen is gone.
Which
So
I think is a mistake, honestly. I think what they
I,
should do
I agree.
is like is find a way to make a deal with USA, since you're already gonna have SmackDown coming over there too, to where you have a complete secondary show of Raw and SmackDown on the network, where it's mostly back like when matches are happening, it's all backstage stuff, and you have the panel. You keep the same pre-show panel. You know what I mean? But you can cut to when it goes to commercial, you show live. You know what I'm saying? So that way you could the super marks like us I could snap screen it in my Xbox One and I could have both of them going on. And when commercial happens, I could full screen the other. You know what I'm saying? Like and just
Yeah.
switch back and forth. I think that would be a smart decision. I mean, ESPN does that sometimes with like ESPN3 or ESPNU on certain football games. Like if they have like downtime between football games that are scheduled on their program, they'll have their post show or pre show cover. The game that's on the the main network. So I think they could capitalize on doing something like that. But I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
So I guess it was a time mismanagement there, but they come back from the commercial break and I liked that they teased Kevin Owens, but if anybody thought that Kevin Owens and Cena were actually going to go at it tonight, I mean that's silly. So you already know it's coming at Battleground. No big deal.
Right.
Cesaro versus John Cena. I had this as my match of the night. Flat out match of the night for me. I gave it a B plus to an A. I couldn't really give it a solid grade. I noticed a couple of things, but I was being kind of nitpicky whenever I noticed it. Uh, you know, the Owens DQ finish made so much sense. Cesaro's looking like $1,000,000 working in there with Cena. Cena's looking good, putting on a 4-star, 5-star match with another mid card guy like Cesaro, who he has put on good matches with before, but I think this is one of their better ones. And Owens, I mean, obviously, Owens does his whole if anybody's going to beat you for the title, it's going to be me thing. So Owens looks like the heel. It worked, and they had a good bit of time. Cesaro got some shine out of it,
Yeah.
which is great because it looks like he's gonna be solo for a little while. And I'm glad they didn't have Cesaro work heel. I'm glad that he still worked as a strong style babyface. So I like that. It was good booking, and and this was actually a good match to go with the good booking.
Yeah. No, I agree. I felt like the whole thing made sense to me. I felt like they booked it really smart. Obviously, the quality was really good. Dude, Cena's got to stop doing the that springboard stunner though. That's got to
Oh
stop.
yeah. Oh
Like
yeah.
he botches it every time, and it's doing nothing. But especially if there is going to be a main event match, but I still honestly believe there will be. Um, you can't keep using the stunner, man. That's not okay. But overall, a plus match to me. The match was great, and you got to be giving Cesaro a big push. I mean, he showed out really well. I think that guy really needs a mouthpiece, though. I know you already had him with Heyman and it didn't work then, but it was a heel then. I feel like we need to find a way for him to have a babyface manager. I feel like it would have honestly been smarter to have Lana with
That was
Cesaro.
my
Maybe,
thought.
maybe if Kid had gotten hurt before the whole Ziggler thing happened, that would have happened, and that would have been awesome. But it didn't happen, and obviously they're probably going to turn Lana back heel after the whole Summer Rae Ziggler thing. Um, but
No, man. Keep her face. Have the stable. Ziggler, Cesaro, Lana, and And Ziggler and Cesaro's tag team name will be Underutilized Talents.
I don't know, man.
Suck it up, IWC.
I
Suck
mean,
it
yeah,
all
I
up.
mean,
That one was for you.
yeah. See, I always try to go with something at least remotely realistic. But I feel like, I mean, in a perfect world, yeah, that'd be great. You know, dude, Ziggler and Cesaro. Dude, honestly, I feel like I need a stable again, man. I'm actually ready for a really good faction again. Like, and I don't, I know this is the
Not the
authority, but that's not
authority.
a faction to me. That's still, I mean, there's always a corporate angle that has not gone away since for the past 20 years now. So, like, well, almost 20 years, but either way, I want a good, badass babyface faction, a babyface faction. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that'd be cool. It's just they're not gonna do it unless it's a babyface boss. I mean, because hey, the style WWE does, man. You know the heel versus the face, and if you have a strong babyface stable, you need an even stronger heel stable, and they don't have either of those right now. I mean, the authority's pretty drawn out, but I mean that's neither here nor there. Um, Bray Wyatt's segment was after that, and I'll say that it was a good segment, but it's nothing new. You know what I mean? I get kind of like towards the end of the Taker promos where it's just they're getting to the point where the match is almost here. So it's not the exact same verbiage, but it's the same message, just not portrayed in an innovative way. So I liked the
Right.
promo just because I like Bray Wyatt's promos,
Yeah.
but it's nothing that I haven't seen and it's nothing that I haven't heard. So I just gave it a B because I mean I give it a B because it's a Bray Wyatt promo. But if
Yeah.
it would have been something original and something different, it'd have been an A.
No, I agree. I agree. And dude, I'm honestly, I mean, you hit it on the head there. I don't have anything else to add to that. Like, that's exactly how I felt about it. I feel like the guy's just kind of, he's being underutilized. That dude should be the world heavyweight champion, honestly. I mean, and I'm a Rollins fan, but I honestly feel like Bray Wyatt should be. And I feel like honestly, you could do a weird thing where he is still the exact same character, but a baby face faction that kind of works, but or more like a tweener faction that just kind of works in the babyface area for a while. That way, when they switch, it's not anything unexpected. You know what I mean?
And see, that's where I thought they were gonna go when those rumors earlier last year were saying it was going to be the part of the Wyatt family. Like
Yeah.
I thought that's what they were going to do. I thought they were going to kind of tweener them out and then just kind of let them ride that blurred middle line, but they didn't do it. And it's almost like who do you put with them now for them to do that if you do decide to do that? Harper and Rowan pretty much are rocking the heel scene right now when they're on.
Well, Rowan's hurt now, so
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
now I don't know what they're gonna do with the Dudleys.
I don't know, but I saw in the 8-man tag match, which was next, Lucha Dragons Primetime Players against New Day and Bo Dallas. I saw Bubba Ray put I'll mark out if I see the Dudley Boys 3D everybody in the ring right now, and it was when all 8 of them were in the ring. So I was like, yeah, I'd mark out, but the fact that you're tweeting that means that it ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but that match was pretty good. Everybody worked well together. Everybody got their little thing in. Bo Dallas was in the match too long, I think. But
Dude, I feel like he would be a decent addition to that faction. Like they should just add him. Like New Day should have Bo Dallas.
It works. Like I mean, the whole inspirational power of
Yeah.
positivity thing would be
Yeah,
kind of
man.
cool. And I guess that's kind of why they've been sticking them together.
Like
Um,
Clap and Bo leave. You know what I mean?
the spot where Bo was being held down by the arm and all 3 of New Day were just sitting there clapping at him. I was like, yeah, check that out. That actually kind of works.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I gave that match a C plus. It was an average. I mean, I don't like 8-man tags because they're a clusterfuck,
I
and
said the same thing, man.
and this one kind of turned into a clusterfuck. Uh, and I don't know what the fuck Titus tried to do whenever he tried swinging both of the Lucha Dragons, but good God, that looked weak as fuck.
Yeah, it looked real bad.
Like it looked bad. Like their rebound looked fine. His throwback looked weak as shit. It's like he just kind of like, whatever. Like, it's just I was like, come on, man. But it's whatever, I wish Kofi would have got a little more shine in that match because I really do think that aside from Big E's charisma, I think that everybody knows that Xavier Woods can talk, and everybody knows that he's really good at it. Everybody knows that Big E is really coming out of his shell with his charisma here. What I really want to see is I really want to see more from a heel Kofi Kingston. I know he can do it because we see glimpses of it every time he gets a hot tag or every time he's beating down the babyface from getting to the corner. Like we see glimpses, but let me see more of it. Like let me see
Right.
what you can do with a heel Kofi Kingston because that has me interested in this whole thing.
Right.
So
No, I
that's just what
agree.
I'm waiting on, man.
I agree. I feel like, and I feel like there's a lot of potential there still with the angle. And I do. I understand why they booked the 8-man tag. I understand that, like, they're trying to get all these guys, TV time. Um, it just it felt really clunky. It felt like they were rushing to get through spots. It felt sloppy at times. Overall, I gave it a C2. I just feel like with that many bodies in the ring, even when they are all really good workers, it's hard to get substance. You know what I mean? It's hard to get
Yep.
like a tangible storyline that you can actually get into. Because there's so much change. It's not even so much action as so much as there's more switching than there is actual wrestling. And it's like that's weird. So
Well,
but I
and
feel like it was
Lucha
decent.
Dragons and Bo Dallas get lost in the shuffle because the story is primetime players versus New Day. So you've got three guys out of that 8-man match that are going to get lost in the shuffle. You know,
Yeah.
because what can you do with that? Like, what are you going to do? Have Bo Dallas feud with the Lucha Dragons? Like there's someone loses shine no matter what. And you're gonna have the primetime players get the win because they're the tag champs. And you either have Bo Dallas take the loss or the unlikely member of New Day to wrestle in the match take the
Right.
loss.
Yeah.
So 3 to 4 people lose shine in this kind of thing, especially with the way that match was packaged together. I mean, I hate to say it, but I almost would have rathered have like a throw like two other like throw have a throwaway team in there. Like you've got the Lucha Dragons, so like maybe like the Ascension with the New Day and have either Xavier Woods or Kofi as at ringside running heel interference. That way you have something for those other 4 guys.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. That makes sense to me. I mean, yeah.
Just
I
so where
mean, that
nobody
makes
gets lost in
sense.
the shuffle. But
Yeah.
it's the WWE. People are gonna get lost in the shuffle all the time.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, and the whole, and then after that, what was that? What was right after that? The Ziggler
The
Rusev
Ziggler and
deal.
Lana segment. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think about that?
Honestly, I mean, for the most part, it was a waste of TV time. But when Lana attacked Summer Rae, all I did was go Lana, danger zone. So so like I did that. Like that kind of had me pop. Like I was
Yeah.
surprised that they did that, but uh, yeah, I was kind of surprised at how heelish Ziggler was with the whole like, hey, get out of here before I mess up your other leg. Like that was kind of a heelish thing to say. So
Yeah.
like, like it kind of surprised me. So I don't know. Like I mean, I was waiting for like the Lana low blow before Summer Rae came out. I was waiting for like when Rusev and Ziggler were standing off. I was waiting for the Lana low blow right there. But I mean, if
Just like
they're
a
gonna
quick heel turn right there.
right, like well, because like the way that they were standing kind of teased it. So I was like, maybe. But if they're going to do that, they're going to do it at a big pay-per-view. It's going to be a
Yeah.
big thing. So Rusev is going to heal up and like maybe Rusev will attack Ziggler. I don't know how healthy he is right now. Like, not like outside of kayfabe. I don't know how healthy he is. So like I don't know if he's going to attack Ziggler at Battleground and then set up a SummerSlam match or what. I don't know what the plan is there.
I mean, I think he's genuinely in a boot. I think he's still got like a few weeks left. But I think he might actually be able to be physical again at SummerSlam, and they're going to try to like maybe he'll cost a match, maybe he'll do something small, not take any bumps at Battleground, and do something as interference. But we'll see. I gave the whole segment a B though. I mean, I felt like it was pretty good. It furthered the story, especially with the whole little cat fight thing. It was about time for that all to happen. There was a build up for a payoff there. So
Yeah, it didn't need to be drug out over a couple weeks. I'm glad they just like showed the Summer Rae thing last week, and then the payoff was this week.
right,
Um, I don't know. I just the whole way they did it, like the going public thing, like who gives a shit? You know,
right.
like that was my thing. That's the only thing I didn't like about it. Um, I liked the Ambrose and Reigns segment that was after that, though. You know, Reigns kept it short and simple. Ambrose kept it short and simple. Uh, you know, I just the only thing I hated was that when Roman was pumping himself up, he was like, "Let's go get some toys," and I'm like, "No, just call it weapons for the love of God!" Like you lose every ounce of credibility
Yeah,
by saying we're gonna pull out some toys, and I'm like, "Good God!"
yeah. No, dude. He just
You know
he
what I
just
mean?
he finds little things, little small things to epically screw up what he has going for him, man. Like his little
But that's not
movements
his
in the
fault.
ring too. Sometimes he'll get like super crazy and he'll just like flail and do some weird thing, and it's like, what are you doing? What does that mean? Like,
That's
stop
that
that. That's
Samoan
not.
coming out, man.
No, dude. That's not Samoan. That's some other kind of
Have
like.
you seen Rikishi in the ring? Come on, man, that's Samoan.
Yeah. I guess so.
So Neville versus Sheamus was after that,
Yeah.
and this is another match where I really like Neville, but my amount of disdain for Sheamus makes me bring it down. And because it's the same Neville versus Sheamus match that we've seen over and over again.
Yeah, yeah. I just, you know, he comes back and Sheamus, and it's like I know he can work, and I see what he does, but but it just kind of shows me that like he's kind of the same all the time, like, and he gets stale really quickly. Like, yes, he's a good worker, but he has the same match all the time. So it's kind of even when he's a face, he still has this whole like, well, I'm the bigger and stronger guy, and you're not gonna pick on, the little guy. And then it's like when he's a bad guy,
Fella.
he's like, well, I'm the big strong guy, and I'm gonna pick on the little guy. And it's like, I mean, I don't know, man. He works the same all the time, and it's just, I don't know, man. I really feel like he'd be better off getting released and going to Japan or going to Ring of Honor or going to Global or wherever it is he's gonna go. Because I think it's safe to say now that Global Force is about to be the new TNA. Like that's gonna happen because they're gonna get a good
I
team.
think they're going to do better than
Oh
TNA.
my God! Like I really feel like, mark my words, man. Global Force, they're starting to actually poach some Lucha Underground guys, and I've heard that they're gonna try to use the same kind of idea as far as how they're shooting a TV show, as far as it's more like a season and there's like a storyline for a season. You know what I mean? Like it's a TV show and it's not like a WWE does it. Like it's like a soap opera like Lucha Underground is like. And if they do that and they tried to do it with TNA when Jeff Jarrett was owning it, and it worked for a little while, and that's what got them the notoriety. It got them. And then it kind of fell off because they, lost their writing group or whatever. But either way, like I feel like if they do it right with the guys they already have coming in, it could be really, really good.
Yeah, and they're poaching some of the guys that are leaving TNA too. So I think Global Force is going to be the number 2 easily within the next year.
Agreed.
So that's just me. Which we can talk about that after because I heard some more stuff about GFW today.
Ooh.
But after Sheamus and Neville, which in my notes I said Neville is fantastic as always, not entertained by Sheamus at all. I'm being unfair. I know I am, but I don't care. Fuck you, Sheamus. Like, that's my
That's
exact note.
exactly how I feel about it. It's like I'm being unfair. I know you're a good worker. I just don't want to see you on TV. Like I just don't want to see you ever. Like
Here's what's
I don't
depressing
ever
about
want
it.
to see Sheamus on TV again. And it's not fair because he's a good worker. And I mean, I don't know. He gives decent promos. I don't know what it is. I just don't want to see him ever. I just don't like him ever.
Here,
Like,
here's what is terribly unfair about that. I just the most surprising thing about was the fact that I didn't see Sheamus do the 10 hits of the Bower. Like that was the only surprising thing about that match. That he didn't do that, and Neville didn't do his little flip thing across the ring. But he hasn't
yeah,
done that for the last couple of matches. I don't know
yeah.
if like he fucked it up at a live event and he was like, "Ooh, I might fuck this up on TV." So I don't know. But those were the two most surprising things. So when the most surprising thing in a match is the two things that you left out, you're predictable.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
But if that match didn't make sense, the next one made much less sense.
Dude, why? 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 Like,
Why
why?
did WWE waste 30 seconds?
Honestly, I think at this point, with 3 hours of booking, I think that they may have actually gone through the time like they had actually planned for things to be, and they were like, "All right, well, we got to do something. Barrett needs a win. You know what? We're gonna wait till SmackDown, but hey, Swagger, he's healthy now. Let's not give him any build up. Let's just go ahead and shit right on him. Let's go ahead and throw him back as a jobber. Give him no kind of promotion, nothing. Let's just go have him go out on TV for the first time in like 2 or 3 months and lose. Let's just do that. Don't even give him a smack. Don't even give him a superstars where he beats Adam Rose or something. Let's just go ahead and throw him right out there on Raw, almost before the main event, and then lose to the guy that hasn't won a single match since King of the Ring. Why, dude? This
As
was
terrible as it is,
poor, dude. Absolutely terrible. You could have even like done a promo here. You could have even just done like the whole time. I wouldn't have minded if you did like recaps and like shots of just the three commentators talking about it. That would have been better than this match. Not because I don't like the workers, but because it made no sense at all.
That and like here's the thing. You have 30 seconds. Swagger didn't get an entrance. Barrett's entrance was just like minimal. His promo literally lasted as long as he walked into the ring. So that happened. And then I mean, you could have done the announcer thing and you could have filled more time. Like the announcer bit would have taken longer than this match would have taken.
Yeah.
So it just didn't make sense at all. I gave it an F. I gave it an F even though Barrett got the win. Like, I'm glad Barrett got a win.
I'm not.
Because it made absolutely no sense. Like, who fucking cares?
Yeah,
Who
but
cares?
at this point, you were almost starting to develop a storyline that he was going to start throwing tantrums because he hadn't won a match since King of the Ring, but he was still King of the Ring, and you could have actually done something out of that. You could have actually spun that terrible shitstorm that you have put on Wade Barrett in booking and spun it into something that was worth something, and then you don't. You just go ahead and give him a win over Jack Swagger that means nothing because Jack Swagger hasn't been on TV in forever. So, yes, absolute F, terrible.
Wasn't Swagger on TV? Didn't Barrett beat Swagger like a week or two ago?
I don't think so. Unless it was a SmackDown and I just missed it in the notes.
Maybe it was a SmackDown, but I'm pretty sure they faced each other earlier, like in the month. Like I could be imagining things. I don't know. Fuck, I don't remember. There's so much TV on these days. I don't remember anymore.
Yeah.
Some failure among
their internet with their interwebs and all their snips and snaps. I don't even know what to do. I can't keep up.
Yeah, back in my day, you had to buy dirt sheets.
Yeah, hell yeah, yeah you did. Yeah, you did. Come on, man.
So the main event was after that. Ambrose and Reigns versus, I'm going to just say the Authority because what's the point? They were all there. So the match itself, I liked. It was hard hitting at first, going into commercial, and, they did their thing for commercial. Then they came back and the Authority was in control. That's all well and good. The Wyatt interference was great. It made sense. It, kept some shine, all the boys in the ring. I think Ambrose is the only one that really lost anything in the match because Ambrose took the loss. So I think Ambrose is the only guy that really lost shine because Wyatt interfering saved Reigns from losing shine. All the Authority looked good because the Authority got the win. The only saving grace for Ambrose tonight was the post-match beatdown wasn't on him. Like Reigns came in after the match and then he took the post-match beatdown, which I was happy for. It was smart booking in the end. I didn't like the fact that Ambrose had to take the loss, but Reigns has a storyline coming, and Ambrose is kind of floating in no man's land right now, kind of hovering on that cusp of the main event.
Ambrose Kane.
So, yeah, that's what they're gonna do. But you know what I mean? Like he's hovering. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, but
he's
Kane's having some good matches too, though, man. I think he's hovering, but I don't think he's gonna dip.
no,
Working
I don't think he is
down.
either. I don't think he is either. I don't think he's gonna face for the world title until Brock's done. But I think he's gonna hover on that tier above it, like right below the world title, but above the mid card. He'll hover on that tier until Brock's done with the world title, and then he'll be back in the world title picture. I'm sure. I mean, I think it's inevitability that all three guys from the Shield will eventually hold the world title.
I agree. I agree with that 100%.
I mean, when you go over Evolution 2 times in a row, you're being bred as the new Evolution. I mean,
Yeah.
you imploded like Evolution, so I mean, just opposite roles. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
the heel turned on the faces. So you imploded like Evolution, so you should have the notoriety of this generation's Evolution, and I think that in time they will. I think there'll be enough world
Right.
titles between the two of them.
And it's right about that time. It's right about 10 years ago that this happened with Evolution. So,
Yeah,
and
and
I feel like I really still feel like they need to give Rollins his own finish. I know that they're
oh
building
god,
towards it.
yes.
I know they're building towards Rollins and Triple H, which is probably going to happen at SummerSlam. And if it doesn't, it'll happen. It'll happen way before Mania, though.
But
They are going
if it
to end up.
happens at SummerSlam, does it happen for the title, or does Brock just win it and Seth doesn't rematch?
Brock wins the title at SummerSlam. He's gonna get a rematch probably. I don't know. Well, so yeah, so I don't know. I don't think they're probably gonna do Triple H then, but there's just it's something weird because I feel like he's actually doing the pedigree better now. I feel like both of the spots were pretty good tonight. He gave it really well tonight, but at the same time, it's too big of a signature. It'd be like somebody giving the Rock Bottom or the Stone Cold Stunner. Like you just. I mean, I'm the biggest HBK mark, but the super kick is so overused that it doesn't matter anymore. But some of those finishes, just like you can't see them on other people, man. Like no one can come in and do a tombstone pile driver anymore. Like you can't do that. Like, and I know Rollins has the permission of it. I know he was like brought into it and it was given the blessing, but it's not. I feel like it's almost hurting him that's his finish. You know what I mean? Than actually helping him.
I think it is. I think his finishes have been hurting ever since they took away the curb stomp. I mean, the curb stomp. He did the curb stomp perfect, and the guys that sold it perfect. And honestly, the guy that took the worst pedigree is Brock.
Yeah.
Brock's
Oh yeah.
pedigree that he took last week, horrible.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't usually say that about Brock because Brock is usually not a bad seller. He's not the best in the world at selling, but he's a good seller most of the time. So like when I saw him sell that pedigree, I was like, ooh, that messed up. Like
Yeah.
he just didn't jump. So I think that him not having his own finisher really is hurting him. But it's like, what do you do? Like I wish he wouldn't have gone to the well and used so many signatures up until this point because I would like it if the Avada Kedavra was his finisher. Hell, I'd like it if he dipped into his Ring of Honor stuff and used what is it? Is it
Black
Hand of God or Finger of God? Which one is it?
Hand of God.
Hand of God. Hand of God was epic. So I mean, I like that finisher. Use that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing too. I feel like he's being told not to do things because it's like we all know he's capable of doing more than what he's doing. And I don't know if I just can't see, knowing his entire career, I can't see him being like, oh no, I want to be a smart guy and not do this kind of stuff anymore. It's like, no, I just think they don't want him doing it. Like
Well, you notice that they're like he could very easily be like a Neville and use the Phoenix Splash, but you notice he's not. And I'm sure that's to protect Neville as much as it is to protect him.
yeah,
So
I agree.
because I mean, how many world champions really had a top rope finish? I mean, you had Eddie, you had RVD, you know, I mean, okay, Chris Benoit, I'll say it, I don't give a fuck. But, like other than that, I mean, that's a very select few
The
guys. You know
Macho
what I mean?
Man, Randy
Well,
Savage.
yeah, but I mean, that one's a given. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. No,
and I'm
I
also
know what you're saying.
talking.
I know what
I
you're
mean,
saying. I know what you're saying.
yeah. So there's it, it's a tough spot to be in because you don't want your world champion to be a spot monkey. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
I mean, mainstream wrestling's becoming nothing but a spot monkey fest anyway, but I mean, there's give and take with it. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I think overall this Raw wasn't bad. Certainly wasn't the worst Raw of the year. I mean, wasn't anywhere close to the worst Raw of the year.
I
Um,
agree.
also
I agree.
wasn't close to the best Raw of the year. But it was an average Raw.
It
I
was a
know.
little, yeah, it was a slightly below average Raw from me, overall. But since we missed a week, what did you think about the Samoa Joe Kevin Owens NXT match, man?
I have been waiting for Samoa Joe for a long time in this company, and I have to say that Kevin Owens versus Samoa Joe. I, what can you say? Like, I mean, it's Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens, like with WWE money. What the
Yeah,
fuck can you say?
yeah.
You
They didn't
know?
give him they didn't give him enough time. That's what I say. I feel like the match left me sad because I feel like I'm not going to be able to see that again for a long time, and I feel like it was really rushed. But I think it's all because of the Zayn injury. I think they had planned on having a huge Owens Joe feud, and we're
I'm sure.
probably only going to get this one match. But I do feel like the Balor Joe matches are going to be insanely good on NXT. So I'm super excited about it. And you said you had some. You said you had a little bit of dirt. You got a little bit of dirt on that Global Force Wrestling. You got a little bit of dirt over there, buddy. A little bit of dirt. Is it a little bit? Is it a little bit of dirt?
So I don't know if you've been on the sheets today, but Magnus and Gunner have left TNA.
Yeah, I knew Gunner. I didn't know about Magnus.
Magnus has officially signed with Global Force Wrestling.
Wow. Okay.
So that's a good grab for Global Force. Magnus can work. Uh, so I mean, and if he's booked right, I mean, we've seen what he can do when he's booked okay. Because I mean, he was world champion in TNA. He did beat Sting. Like they played that smart when Sting was, not up top, but I mean, with the whole when they did the main event Mafia rehash and
Yeah.
Magnus turned, like that was a smart storyline. So we know he can do things when he has a good storyline behind him. And I think with Jeff Jarrett there, he'll be okay. Um,
Yeah. It
I,
surprises me that he hasn't signed with NXT because I feel like Magnus is kind of a Vince Triple H hybrid kind of guy.
he he is, but I'm willing to bet that Magnus won't go to NXT unless Mickey comes with him. And the word is that there's heat between Nikki, Cena, and Mickey James. So I think that between the three of them, there's some heat, and that's why Mickey James only showed up for like that one or two time appearance for training, and then disappeared back to TNA. Um, but I'd love to see Mickey James back in NXT and work some of the NXT girls, and then I'd love to see Magnus in NXT too. I think Magnus could probably pull out a decent match out of Baron Corbin, maybe. And if not, like I think Magnus versus like a Bull Dempsey or something
Yeah.
like that would be great.
Baron
You know,
Corbin.
it is. I think something like that would be good. I mean, Rhino pulled an okay match out of him, and I know Magnus
What are they gonna
is.
do with Rhino, man? They still got him for like 4 more months. They got him for 4 more
I
months.
I know, and 4 months is a long time for NXT because I mean
Yeah,
that's
dude.
I mean, 4
Are they
months
gonna?
is
I feel like they might actually give him like a half-assed pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like maybe they'll give him like a little throw him up on the main roster to make him work. I don't know. Some baby, maybe the Neville. You know what I mean on the main roster.
maybe, but I don't know. Maybe last time he fought Balor, did he go over or did Balor go over?
He went over.
So Rhino went over. So maybe what
No,
they'll do
Rhino
is
lost. Rhino lost.
so
Rhino lost.
Rhino did lose. So maybe what they'll do, I don't know, maybe they'll do something where Rhino is like the first veteran challenger once Balor takes it from Owens, which is happening Saturday, just so we're clear.
Yeah,
I
because you
really
still got Joe as a face, and you got to turn him heel somehow. And you don't want to automatically make him heel and just have him step right into Owens, boots.
right.
Um,
You need that
because
transition. So
and
I think
honestly,
Rhino
because
will be it.
I hope that doesn't happen to him because Samoa Joe is not that kind of heel when he is a heel, and I feel like people will expect that kind of heel out of him, and then they won't like him, and they'll think that Joe's not what he was made up to be. You know what I mean? Like, I can already see just like dominoes happening to where it's like, dude, this Joe run's gonna be terrible. I can see it go that way. I really hope it doesn't, but I have this deep, deep, deep like panic in my heart that like they're gonna put him in the wrong storylines. They're gonna
But
set
here's
him
the
up
thing.
for failure, and he's just gonna bomb, and it's gonna suck so bad.
But here is the thing that we no longer have to worry about. Even if that does happen, Ring of Honor is on Destination America now, which means that I can watch it. I don't care about the rest of you. So if Joe fails in WWE, I'll just catch him on Ring of Honor and I'll be happy. Like I'm excited because I was super excited for Joe in NXT and I still kind of am, but with Owens leaving, Balor's gonna get the title. You got to turn him heel. I don't know, like I don't know if they'll put him on the main roster. I hope they do, and I hope they do something with him. I hope it's not one of those runs where Joe just sits in NXT, kind of like Rhino did, and does nothing. Like, well, not nothing, but like just puts over WWE guys. Like, I
Yeah.
want him to become a WWE guy. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's late in his career, but I want him to become that WWE guy because that's kind of what everybody's been waiting for so long.
No, I agree.
I,
But at the same time, too, I've read an interesting thing about, how they're pushing Cesaro. I read this before Raw. It was a blog, but it was kind of dead on. And it was about how, they're probably going to push Cesaro, which they did tonight, because he already knew somehow that he was going to be the guy and open it. So he has some kind of alleys, this blog guy from ProWrestling.net. And he was kind of saying that, what if they push Cesaro to be this babyface guy? What if they actually push him to be a babyface and then he quick turns again and he's heel? You know what I mean? Like big heel. And if they already have that plan for him, then since Kid's out, they can plug in Cesaro where Owens was going to go. And what if Owens wins it at 4th of July and retains the NXT title and then wins the title for 1 month and loses again at SummerSlam? It doesn't really take too much off of him because it's the first time you've an NXT champion win a main roster title thing, and he's still NXT champion. You go down to NXT and you have this huge run with Samoa Joe that you planned out anyway, and you push Cesaro as a heel since Cesaro was the guy booked by Owens. This is all in a blog before I even watched Raw. So maybe that's what they're gonna do. Maybe since we all the marks and everyone's already said, oh yeah, Balor's winning the title at 4th of July. What if he doesn't win the title? What if he
I
doesn't
don't.
win? I
I
agree
think
that
it's
we're probably
hard.
right. We're probably 90% right. I'm just saying devil's advocate. What if he doesn't win the title? What happens then? Your opinion.
If he doesn't win the title, I think Owens is going to hold both straps for a while. I think he's going to hold both. Going to get NXT some plug on Raw, more plug than it's already gotten. And then I think he will eventually lose either title in the next month. So they'll either do Samoa Joe again in NXT and he'll lose the title to Joe, and then maybe turn Balor heel and have a heel Balor versus a face Joe, which would be cool. And or do the heel Cesaro thing where, or if even a face Cesaro, you have Kevin Owens versus Cesaro if Cena loses his rematch. So I think either of those are plausible. I'd be interested to see the face Joe versus heel Balor. That's just me. Like have Joe beat Owens. Owens goes to main roster and just leaves NXT, and then Balor comes out and cuts a promo on NXT, and he's like, Samoa Joe, I've been here, I've been grinding, I've been working my ass off, and Samoa Joe just comes in and takes what's mine, and
You
I
know what
don't
I
like
would
that.
love? You know what I would love, which would be perfect, is if Samoa Joe won the title on this upcoming week as on a surprise. Like Kevin Owens is cocky, comes out as an NXT challenge. It's Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe wins, and then it's just Owens and Balor, and they just tear the house down in Tokyo. But Balor gets on the mic and rips this whole like heel promo about how like
That's what I'm
he's,
saying.
you know what I mean? Like they could do that, but they would have. I mean, that's super fantasy booking. That would never happen. And honestly,
No,
that doesn't really make sense. That's just in my mind. It would be great, like
yeah, well, no, like that'd be
even if
cool.
I had the writing books, I would never ever write that. Even though in the back
You've
of my
already
mind it
spent
would be
all the money
awesome.
on adverts. Like you've
Right?
already
Yeah.
spent all the adverts, so you shouldn't. So, but like it's cool. Like it's kind of like I guess
But
because we,
I would have Balor win the strap and pretty much immediately turn him heel because I
I
think
think you have
NXT
to.
needs to have a heel champion at all times, in my opinion.
And maybe not at all times, but I
Dude, the
mean, like,
whole time Neville was the champ, it was all the other storylines were more important because he was great and everybody loved him and his matches were great, but it was just so at this point in society, like I'm not saying forever, but for this next probably a few years, you need to have the heel as the champ, man. That's why I
well,
think Bray Wyatt should be a champ.
the story is always got to be about the babyface making the climb. Nobody likes the babyface at the top all the time.
Right. Nobody
It's
likes the
about
babyface at the top for long at all, if at all.
right. It's about how the babyface gets screwed and about how the babyface gets back to the top of the
So they can
mountain.
relate because no one ever wins, but they just get so close and they feel like they got so close. That's all you
Right.
need, dude. You don't.
Right. And
That's,
that's why the even the ending of the Daniel Bryan story was such a Cinderella story. Like it's fucking like you can't write that shit. Like the babyface climbs to the very top of the mountain. He gets to the top. He has his moment. It's there. It's there. He's got it. Fuck. He's hurt. He lost it. And now he's fucking struggling to try to just have a career and get back, not much less get to the top of the mountain. Like he's trying to have a fucking career. You
we
can't write this shit.
we would have won state if I hadn't blown out my knee.
Man, I just wish Coach would have put me in the fourth quarter. Like one of those things. Like you can't write that shit. Like he's living a Cinderella story at this point. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, so I mean, you know, that's good TV, and that's what puts butts in seats.
yeah,
Like that kind of shit. So, but I don't know. I mean, we'll be interested to see what's going on.
yeah.
If you're watching and you have any fantasy booking ideas, put those in the comments below because we'll read them and we'll shout them out on the next show on our
Absolutely.
Twitter and all that good junk. So drop us a comment, drop us a like, share it, put it on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, or don't. Meh,
Yeah, and we'll be back.
whatever.
We'll be back for the Fourth of July show for the Beast in the East. We'll do a little
Yeah,
afternoon review
for sure.
after we've slept after watching it, getting up super early.
Set alarm for 4, hit snooze till 4:15, get up
Right,
at 4:35, start from the beginning, go
right.
back to
Yep,
sleep at 7.
yep. There you go. There you go. Cover
Yeah,
the show at about noon. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. While eating lunch.
yeah. Absolutely. Hot dogs and hamburgers. God bless America.
Bang bang America. Ding.
Yeah,
That's
man.
gonna do it for us for this week, guys. We'll see y'all Saturday for Beast in the East. Y'all have a good night.
Peace.